Well, the Stanley Cup playoffs roll on as round 2 continues for the St. Louis Blues. Game number 5 tonight as the Blues try to hold off being eliminated as they face off against the Nashville Predators. The Predators up in the series 3-1. Welcome inside the morning skate. Chris Kerber with you, Andy Strickland alongside. And Andy, I guess you don't need to say very much in a situation like this. Down 3-1 and a best of 7. The storylines speak for themselves.
Well, there's no question about it. Down 3-1, like you mentioned. You know, the Blues have been in this situation in the past. You go back to 2003, they were up 3-1. We saw a very good Vancouver Canucks team come back and take that series. This team has shown a lot of resilience over the course of the second half of the season since Mike Yeo has taken over. They're confident, and they believe they can win, and they can extend this thing back to Nashville.
One of the things that has happened with this hockey team over the course of the season is they have responded extremely well when their backs are against the wall, as it is right now. And when you go inside the dressing room as they prepare for today's Game 5, they talk about that specifically.
There's a lot of belief in this locker room. I think that's where things are going to turn around for us if we're confident in our group, and we're a confident group. We feel like every game could have gone either way. We know we have another gear, and that's where we'll have to take it to.
Just like during the regular season when everybody thought we were out of the playoffs, and we all knew in this dressing room that we weren't. We were stumbling, but we weren't out, and it's the exact same attitude. You know, we've stumbled, and we've jumped right back on top. So it's the exact same attitude. We're bringing it in tomorrow. And we're getting right back to work.
I don't think there's any mindset in here that thinks tomorrow's gonna be our last game. I think we're going there playing tomorrow to win, and then that's all we can focus on, and whatever happens, and we'll worry about that after the game.
I don't think as a group we've got to our best game yet. Obviously you got to give them credit. They're playing well, and they're preventing us, to an extent of getting to our game, and we got to find a way to break through and have our best game, and then we'll take it from there.
I think we faced adversity before, and we know that we got a tough hill to climb here. We know that we're playing against a real good team, and obviously we're aware of where we're at in the series. But our mindset is on tomorrow's game. I think that's what we did effectively, and was a big part of our success the last part of the season. We didn't look at the hill that we had to climb. We didn't look at what. Who was in our lineup, who was out of the lineup. The guys focused on the job that they had to do, and we took care of the moment that was in front of us, and that's what we have to do again tomorrow.
Well, as we know throughout the playoffs, is what do coaches do? What do teams do? What adjustments do they make from one game to the next, from one shift to the next? And we're probably going to see a lineup change or two going into game number 5 tonight.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, you look at Kyle Brodziak. He was back in the lineup at least yesterday in practice. And Mike Yeo talked to him prior to sitting out in Game 4 and said, hey, listen, just hit the reset button, and, we're going to see you again at some point in this series. I think you always want experience in your lineup curves, especially in a situation that the Blues are in tonight. Kyle Brodziak is a very good player. He's been an important player for this hockey club pretty much all season long. He'll certainly add an impact to the Blues roster.
And it's something that Mike Yeo has a history with when it comes to Kyle Brodziak, having had him in Minnesota, getting to the second round of the playoffs 2 years in a row with Kyle as well. So there will be some lineup changes coming tonight for the St. Louis Blues. That will definitely be one of the storylines. Now, 2 guys that are in the lineup that have actually had really strong playoffs. One, a guy that returned late to the Blues in Vladimir Sobotka. The other one is Joel Edmondson. And Joel Edmondson has had a heck of an impact with his shot.
Well, he really has, and he can shoot the puck. I mean, going back to his days playing in the Western Hockey League, he played the power play. He's a guy who could, contribute offensively with his shot. Even when he was down playing in the American Hockey League, he was given that role as well. Sometimes things change when you get to the National Hockey League, but when a door opens, you take advantage of that opportunity. He's very comfortable in the offensive end. We focus so much on Colton Parayko and his ability to shoot the puck. But Joel Edmondson had that reputation when the Blues drafted him in the second round a few years back, and he's showing why right now.
He's had that opportunity sliding up in the lineup since the Kevin Shattenkirk trade, and he's taken a terrific advantage of it. The other guy is Vladimir Sobotka. He's had a real strong playoffs for the Blues, played the final game of the regular season. When Mike Yeo met with the media, he talked about exactly why it's not a surprise that a player like that could be successful come playoff time.
He's had a really strong playoff for us. He's been very effective, and it's not hard to figure out why. You get into playoff hockey, and obviously to have success, you want speed, you want skill, but the level of competitiveness goes up, and that's when he plays the way that he does, and he gets to the hard areas. He protects the puck. He wins his battles offensively. That opens up time and space for other people and creates situations and opportunities for himself as well.
talking about Vladimir Sobotka, he's not surprised he's had success because of his ability and willingness to get in there and compete. You know this, Kerbs. You got to have a high compete level, especially when you're in the situation the Blues are in right now.
Well, you have to have one throughout the whole playoffs, and that's the final key storyline for tonight's game, the compete level. Can the Blues and will the Blues players match the compete level and frankly surpass the compete level in some ways of some of those Predators players? Now, it doesn't mean that a scorer is always going to get on the board scoring a goal. Maybe it's an assist. But really what can turn the tide in a game is a battle that one of those players wins in the corner. It's outskating a guy down the ice, like we saw in the Minnesota series when Brodziak nullified an icing penalty against the Minnesota Wild, and that took few seconds off the clock. Those are the kind of battles, those are the compete levels that Mike Gill is talking about, and that's why Vladimir Sobotka, several others have been successful. The Blues as a whole need to find that compete level tonight. It ought to be a great time at Scott Trade Center. For all the playoff information, go to stlouisblues.com/playoffs. You'll find the timing of all the pep rally information for tonight's game as well. The Blues face off against the Predators at 7 o'clock. The pregame festivities, the show on the ice, start prior to that, and the game is on Y98 on the radio side, on the TV side, NBC Sports Network. Blues and Predators, game number 5. Blues need a win to stay alive. Enjoy the game tonight.